All right, I'm here with another video going over some games that I've been playing lately, some of the new releases of January and early February. Looking forward kind of in the coming weeks to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and a lot of good stuff coming out in March and beyond. We got some really solid games coming out, good first half of the year so far. And we have some good stuff coming out so far, so I was just going to go through the games in order of release date of what I've been playing, what I've been checking out. An older game that I've played through recently in January, I played through Cyberpunk 2077, which I enjoyed a lot. But as far as newer games, I'll start out first with a game that's not actually newer. None of these games are newer, actually. There's a common trend behind all these games here. Another Code Recollection. So this is it's interesting that this even exists, to be completely honest. This was definitely a game that I feel like the developers really wanted to make, and Nintendo's like, yeah, sure, we'll publish this. I can't imagine this is going to sell exceptionally well. Like, I can't imagine this is even really going to move the needle on anything, but it's cool that Nintendo was willing to publish and everything. So another Code, we got it over here in the United States as Trace Memory. It was a DS game, and then there was a sequel for the Wii that we never got over here, another Code R. And then this is a remake of those games. They were developed by Sing, Cing, who's defunct now, but they did that game. They did Hotel Dusk, which I like a lot. They did Little King Story, stuff like that. So they have some games. They made a game called Again that was on the DS as well, that Koei Tecmo published. But really cool that they did this. And this is like a full ground up remake, like 3D environments. You're exploring the world, and it's an adventure game. It has a good atmosphere and a good kind of overall vibe. It's very laid back. Like you got to be in the right mind space for this one, just because it's pretty slow. It's pretty dependent, I guess, more on just solving puzzles every once in a while. And I enjoy it. I'm not crazy about it. I haven't finished it or anything. And I've kind of moved on to other things. I don't know if I'll go back. I enjoyed what I played of it. I never played the originals, so I don't have that connection to them. But as far as this goes, it's a pretty good adventure game for what you're looking for. But I feel like there's better options on the Switch or even just elsewhere. And I don't know. I think it's good, but I don't think the story is not really holding my attention. And that's what you would kind of push forward in a game like this. And I've heard it gets pretty interesting, but it just wasn't holding my attention. I wanted to move on to some other stuff. But it's cool that they did this. And a lot of those Sing guys, when they closed up, went to Arc System Works, who's known for usually fighting games, and I guess a little team at Arc System Works just kind of put this one together and Nintendo published, and I think that's pretty cool. I would love to see maybe they'll do something like this for Hotel Dusk, although that game really uses the DS. I mean, you hold it as a book and everything. It has that really unique aesthetic, though. It'd be cool if they did one with Hotel Dusk and its sequel, Another Window, I think it's called. That we never got that game in the United States as well. They got it in Europe and Japan, but not here. But as far as this one goes, if you're looking for a kind of just relaxed little game to play on your Switch, as far as a little adventure game with some puzzles, not too many, and they're not very challenging. But if it's more about the exploration and kind of just using adventure game logic to put stuff together. And if you're looking for that, I think you got yourself a good game here. I feel like it's a bit steep for $60, I'm not going to lie, but this game and the next game, I did the buy two, get one free from Best Buy that they have periodically if you're part of their membership, their paid membership. So I feel like, it brings us something like this down to $40 when I do that. So I feel like that's a good price for it, but if you want to show your support to this one or anything like that, you could definitely do worse as far as that goes. They got some nice artwork in there too, but yeah, that is another Code Recollection. It's interesting. This is on my Switch shelf next to Anonymous Code. They're both, and it's just weird, like Another Code, Anonymous Code right next to each other. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that interesting. I gotta hold this one up. I'm keeping this one sealed. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. So I got this on PlayStation to play through it again for the trophies, and then I figured I would, I wanted to have it for the collection, a physical one. So I just got it on Switch. I'll keep it sealed, at least for the time being. But So Apollo Justice Ace Attorney is a bit misleading because it is Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, the fourth Ace Attorney game. It is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Dual Destinies, and Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. So the DS game, that's the fourth one, and then 5 and 6 were on 3DS. It's really cool. 5 and 6 did not get a physical release at all in the United States. So it is very cool that we got this over here, and now we have this physically. So especially since 3DS eShop is down now. So there was a little while there was no legal way to buy the 5 and 6 games. So that was a shame. But I like these games a lot. I've been playing Apollo Justice. I'm on like the last case almost. Oh, I got to finish up the case 3. I don't really like that case too much. It's okay, but and then I'm move on to the last case, which I think is really good. But this is my third replay of I'm gonna move through these. So I'm working on the next game right now, and then I'll go back and I'll just kind of have these in between since I know them pretty well and everything. But you know, I was just working on playing Apollo Justice, get through that, and then I'm gonna get through this next game, and then Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I need to get to Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So the next couple months are full, but, you know, just playing these at a pace that makes sense to me. But Apollo Justice was always kind of like not my favorite, and going back to it and playing Ace Attorney 4, I've been enjoying it a lot more. I think it's much... So this was like the last of the mainline Ace Attorneys that Shu Takumi, the series creator, worked on. Then he went over to Layton versus Phoenix Wright, and then he went over to Great Ace Attorney 1 and 2. So they had a different writing staff for 5 and 6. And 5 and 6 are kind of contentious. I know some people don't like them, mainly 5. I think they're good. I have not played... So the last time I did an Ace Attorney replay... I replayed 1, 2, and 3 back in 2019 when the HD console versions came out. But I did all of them back in 2015. So I replayed through 1 through 5 were out at the time. So this will be my third time playing through 4. This will be my third time playing through 5, and then it'll be only my second time playing through 6. I've never played 6 other than when it released. So I'm looking forward to that as well, because I remember really liking 6, but I don't remember it. And it's been fun just going through these again. I think Apollo Justice is pretty solid. I think it's... the first case is good. The second case, I know a lot of people don't like it, and I used to hate that case. But it's kind of funny. Like, I don't know, there's some good to it. It's kind of funny. Like, it's a little bit ridiculous, but it's good. And 3 is better than I remember it being. I remember not really liking case 3 too much either. And I don't want to go into spoilers too much, but there's some cool stuff with it, some interesting stuff. And I remember really liking case 4, so looking forward to giving that one another go. But definitely been liking this one a lot. Again, and then just their efforts on these so far of like how they play, what they look like, and everything, as far as, you know, bringing these handheld games, these DS games made for the DS and 2 screens, over to, you know, just a console you're playing on your TV. They've been doing a good job with it. I feel like it looks nice. I popped on Ace Attorney 5 just to see like what are the 3D, how's it translate to 3D, and played like, you know, a minute or so just to see, because I'm not ready to start that game yet. But I was like, oh, this looks really good, you know, for a Ace Attorney, you know, 3DS game that got ported over to console. It looks pretty nice. And I think it just kind of shows the art style is really good. The animation's really good. So they're kind of future-proofed games, kind of timeless. Like, you can play any of these games and kind of, if you understand the context of when they came out and just look at them now, it's like they're pretty timeless for the most part. But I really like these a lot. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big Ace Attorney fan in general, but these games I feel like don't get enough attention compared. The original trilogy is fantastic, but I feel like these games are still just as great, and they don't get enough attention. So highly recommend these, especially if you've played the Ace Attorney 1, 2, and 3, and you're on the fence about playing the rest of the series. I would definitely recommend them. You don't need to play the investigation games. Those are like their own thing. You can just jump into these. And this series is 4, 5, and 6. There's like a time skip of like 7 years. It's explained in the story from the original trilogy. So there's currently still taking place in the future, but it's not like the far future anymore. I think Apollo Justice came out in 2007 in Japan, and I think it takes place in something like I'm trying to think. It would take place in like 2026, I think, going off the vaunted Ace Attorney timeline. So, yeah, but I don't have too much to say. I recommend these games entirely. This is a good port. It's on the RE engine, which I think is funny. When I always think it's funny is that RE engine stands for Reach for the Moon engine, which I've always thought was weird. But yeah, there's some good stuff in here. Good game. And I'm excited to go back to 5 and 6. I really think 5, I think 5 is a little bit long-winded and it's a little bit drawn out and there's some lackluster cases, but maybe I'll like him better. And I really liked 6. I thought 6 was awesome, so I'm excited to revisit that one. It's like the only Ace Attorney game besides Investigations 2 that I've not replayed in some way. So looking forward to that. But be cool if they did an Investigations. Investigations 2, I played the fan translation, but it never got a release. It would be cool if they did an Investigations 1 and 2 re-release as well at some point. Get those all out. And if we look at the Capcom leak, Great Ace Attorney got a release on that list. It happened. Their timeline had Ace Attorney Trilogy 2. That happened. Ace Attorney 7's next up on the list, so excited to see where they go with that. So here's the one everyone's probably here for. The big game kind of the last few weeks. Persona, besides Final Fantasy at the last day of the month, probably the biggest game of the month, I'd imagine. I can't think of anything else. Persona 3 Reload. So this is a remake, of course, of Persona 3. I did an unboxing of this, of the $200 special edition for this game. I'm going to have to say that unboxing was a little bit of a bro moment. It wasn't like a Dark Side. So I don't know if you guys know Dark Side Phil. I think most people know who that is. He is a kind of infamous YouTuber. He did an unboxing of Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. I think it was just like the normal 360 game, like the game just in the plastic case, not even a special edition. And in the unboxing, he never opened the game box. He just started complaining because his fire alarm, like smoke alarm, kept going off or something like that. And my unboxing was not quite as bad, but some people brought up the point that I did not open up the box for the figure, which I did not. I just kept the figure box closed. I don't know. I have a lot of brain damage from playing too many video games, so that might be it. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, my bad. Sorry. Anyway, Persona 3 Reload. I think it's been said a lot that Persona 3 is a great game, but it's a little bit hard to figure out like which is the best version. So there's Persona 3, the original PS2 version. There's not really a reason to go back to that one. There's FES, Persona 3 FES. So that is the version I played back in 2014, so 10 years ago now, just about. I played Persona 3 FES on PS2. And then there's also the Persona 3 Portable PSP game, which every version, well, those two versions, I'll say, FES and Portable, have like their reasons to play it. So FES is, the console version, but it doesn't have, you can't control your party members in battle, which is, I'll be honest, is agonizing. And then there's Persona 3 Portable, which is, and I have not played as much. I downloaded it on my Vita because I wanted to play there's a female protagonist route, but I never played very far into it. Because Persona 3 Portable has the female protagonist route that you can play, but it doesn't have like the map. Like, so everything is just kind of menu based and set up. There's no, the cutscenes don't have the character models in it. It's just static image with character portraits. There's no like overworld map or anything like that you can explore. So as far as those two go, I would recommend the FES version, even if Portable does have controllable party members. But good thing is, if you want to play the Persona 3 experience, you don't have to worry about any of those anymore, unless you want to play some of the extra content. So Persona 3 FES has the answer, which I'll be honest, people were complaining the answer is not on there. The answer is not very good. I'll leave it at that. And then, the female protagonist route too. But this is a really, really solid remake of Persona 3. Just kind of bringing it up to that Persona 5 art style, Persona 5 visual style and everything like that. We have the awesome menus that we've been getting now from Atlas. I don't know when Atlas decided, let's just make insanely cool looking menus our calling card, but they did. They definitely they made that choice and they've stuck to it and they're doing great. Menus look awesome in this, and it's just like a great way of being like, okay, this is the definitive way to play this game now. And they there's a re-recorded soundtrack. I really like the re-recorded soundtrack. The original soundtrack is so it's so good too, but it's It's definitely, strange. I was thinking, like, this game is very unique for the time, and I don't know how many people realized the game, first of all, even existed back when it came out in 2006, the original version. Um, it's just, you have this bizarre, social system that's not really like in any other RPG at the time. You have this really fleshed out kind of world and story, and then you have this strange soundtrack, which is like, there's some rap and there's some rap verses in there, and there's just some like vocals, and it's very. I can imagine how odd it is if people at the time were used to playing like Wild Arms or Final Fantasy X, and just to get something like this is just completely different, completely unique. And it would have been cool to be able to kind of see what that looked like and find this out. But I really like this, and there's still some gripes with it as far as there is a. So if anyone's played Persona 5 and nothing else, the Mementos is what they call in that game the randomly generated dungeon, and that is not the main. That is just the kind of the content you do, but that is not the main dungeons that you go to. In this game, there is one main dungeon, and it is randomly generated. And it was not very fun in the original version of the game. I'll be honest, like not fun at all to explore in the original game. It's better here now, but it's still not great. I was kind of hoping because in Persona 5 you have these fantastic, just awesome, well designed, well made, like handcrafted dungeons. They're not randomly procedurally generated or anything like that. They're these handcrafted dungeons with puzzles and everything like that. And then this, it's just like kind of going floor to floor, fighting enemies. The combat's fun as always. If you like the combat in these games, you'll like it in this. It's definitely spruced up and cleaned up from the original versions and everything. Less time waiting around in menus. But everything else I think is really strong. If the worst thing you have to say is that sometimes the procedurally generated dungeon that you spend, maybe an hour at a time in, is a little bit boring. Like not even too boring, just a little bit boring. Like I think you're doing pretty well. Everything else is good, and it's just funny. I played through this one. I never replayed it just because it's. I was always kind of thinking like they'll remake this, they'll do something with this. I always had my theory. They didn't make Persona 3 dancing for no reason. They wanted those models and they wanted those environments they crafted for the game. They didn't just make it for no reason. And I think that it's just interesting looking at it, and it's like, oh, there's a lot I forgot about this story. I really only remembered like a select few of the social links, like the side characters and everything. I only really remembered a select few of those. And, a lot of the parts of the story I didn't really remember too much because it's just been so long. It's been 10 years since I played that game. And so it's just been fun revisiting it. And it's like half of a new game to me, just because it's like, oh, there's so much I remember, but there's so much I've forgotten. And then it's kind of just cool seeing everything in this new art style, this new graphics, updated PS5 or at least PS4 graphics and everything like that. It's been really cool. And I've been enjoying it a lot. For anyone who's playing it, I am, without spoilers, like 20-ish hours in. I just got, this isn't a spoiler because it's everywhere. I got Koromaru, the dog party member. He just joined. So, been having a good time with it. Going to be a great game to kind of just settle into February with. And just a very unique game. And if you've never played Persona, you can jump in here. You can jump in with 5. I really feel like they have. The problem was a lot of the people who started with 5, it was going to always be hard to go back to, especially 3 and also 4. But they've brought Persona 3 up to Persona 5 standards. And, I was thinking it would be cool, and I was kind of against it. It would be cool if they did a Persona 4 Gold or Persona 4 remake. And I think they will. I think after the success of this, Persona 4 is a much bigger game. I think that they will, but I think that would just be really cool. And it's going to be tough, though, because they recasted the entire voice cast from the original in this game. And it makes sense. Some of them are, not voicing acting anymore for various reasons. And some of them are just maybe too big in bigger projects or just whatever. And everything like that. So it makes sense that they recast it, but I feel like Persona 4 Golden is going to have to be a complete recast almost, because like everybody, everybody on that cast is like way too big in the voice acting world, probably to be in something like that if they did a Persona 4 remake. But maybe not. I don't know. It would be cool, but I think that it'd get expensive pretty fast. But that's such an iconic voice cast for that game. But I'm rambling on at this point. Persona 3 Reload is great. Highly worth your time. Just a fantastic turn-based JRPG, and really been liking it a lot. So that's it. Those are the games I've been playing lately. Hope you enjoyed this. Sorry I've been, a little bit behind on putting out videos. It's just there's not a whole lot to talk about right now. I have a few videos planned. There's not a whole lot to talk about right now. Pickups have been pretty slim. There's not too many places to get games right now, so pickups have been kind of slim. But I'm looking forward to, I have a couple videos planned, like I said. Probably put out another collection video, and then I'm looking forward to hopefully soon, with probably within the next couple months, we're going to be garage sale season, everything like that, so that'll be fun. But I'll keep doing these what I've been playing videos. I'll talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and everything like that when I play that and everything. So should be fun. But other than that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment down below with what you've been playing lately, if you've been playing any of these games or anything else. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, I'd like to thank you for watching.